We're seeing a significant debate in Australia around the issue of asylum seekers and refugees. If you haven't been following the debate, the conversation specifically centres around offshore processing. Many people are unsure where they stand on this issue, and maybe yourself, as a person who has travelled and seen so much around the world, could share a perspective on it.
Yes, immigration is a problem not just in Australia, but I've been following some of the debate in America and in Europe, and India has a limited amount of problem because a lot of people from Bangladesh, Nepal, and even Pakistan want to immigrate into India, if not possible legally, then illegally. So this is an issue. The real issue is, why aren't Australians immigrating to Vietnam or Papua New Guinea? Why are people from other countries immigrating to Australia or into America? Why aren't Americans immigrating to Mexico or Guatemala? Just this fact demolishes the myth of multiculturalism, that all cultures are equally valid, equally good, should be worthy of equal respect. The fact is that a lot of nations and a lot of cultures do not know how to live with civility, how to develop, progress as human beings. They are so brutal, so oppressive, that people flee from those cultures into cultures that were built on the foundation of the Bible and learned justice, peace, shalom, prosperity. The most effective way for countries such as Australia to tackle this issue of illegal immigration is, in fact, for Australia to obey God's command to and promise to Abraham that I will make you a great nation. I will make Australia or America a great nation. But through you, I intend to make all the nations great. I want to bless all the nations. So Australia, as it did help with East Timor in bringing civility and gentleness in that little island, as it was being oppressed by another country, Australia should be fulfilling God's desire through Abraham to bless all the nations. If you have understood the secret of being a good nation which attracts immigrants, you need to share that secret with other nations. And the problem with countries such as in Australia and America is that they have listened to these foolish ideas of multiculturalism, and they are saying that the West really has nothing to give to any society, that we cannot teach Papua New Guinea or Papua how to be less corrupt and how to be more just and how to be more prosperous and more educated, emancipating your women, empowering your women and children, etc. Australia, in fact, does have the secret of how to be a great nation. That's why people are coming to Australia. And that secret, your education, is burying and destroying, as we talked about in the previous question. But you have to learn back from the people who founded Australia and built a great nation. You have to learn from those secrets, not dismiss them that they were fools. In fact, they were the people who built the nation which is attracting these immigrants and refugees. So you have to learn from your ancestors, and those secrets you have to teach to the other nations, transform their nations, have a global mission. Then you will minimize, you will not completely eradicate, but you will minimize that problem, because if, say, speaking from America, if Mexico becomes a great nation, lots of Americans would like to go and live there.
Australia has many leaders of different cultural backgrounds. One person emerging from this fold is a youth of Indian origins who is leading the online lobby campaign site Get Up. Simon Sheikh identifies himself as an atheist, and the group claims to be a-religious. These youth are very influential for other Australians, particularly young people, when it comes to entering into the political sphere. They believe it's really important to keep religion out of all debates. What do you think?
Well, as an Indian, I'm very pleased that Simon Sheikh is creating waves in Australia. And when I visit Australia, I would love to have the opportunity to shake his hands and have a cup of coffee with him. And if he has the time, I would love to have a meal with him, get to know him. That is wonderful for him to feel that Australia is his country and that he should use his skills and abilities to make a difference to Australian society. That is good. To mobilize, galvanize the energies of young people to build a great nation is a good thing, because that is heart of the Bible. God says to Abraham that I will make you a great nation. However, when I meet with him, I would like to suggest to him that atheism is a myth. A myth is a worldview, a view of the world, which is exclusively the invention of the human mind. Atheism, by definition, is a view of reality which is an invention of the human mind. And it has an agenda. A scientific theory is also invented by the human mind, but a scientific theory is seeking to be true to facts, to discover all the facts, know all the data, and to be true to them. A myth is a theory, a view of the world reality which is invented by the human mind, but with an agenda that I do not want to obey God's commands. I do not want my personal life, my sexual life, or whatever, to be under God's authority. So a genuine atheist has to be someone who knows everything, and therefore he knows that there is no God, there can be no God. But if you have only limited data and you assume that there is no God, there is no soul, there is nothing spiritual, then you end up, as Nietzsche did, against morality. So communist nations, if Simon Sheikh ends up becoming a Lenin or a Stalin or a Mao in driving Australia towards true atheistic nations, that man will be the Messiah, then the history of the 20th century teaches us that when man tries to become the Messiah, he becomes a monster. So that is what Mussolini, Hitler, Lenin, Stalin, they were trying to be messiahs, because if there is no God, you have to be the Messiah. And then you actually become a monster, because you are a sinner and you are foolish, just as I'm foolish. So that's what I would say to him, that it is great that you want to build a great nation. When you reject God, you are in fact accepting a myth. And when you try to become a Messiah, I would be very, very scared of you.
In a column published this month in the political popular blog The Punch, the columnist argues that religion has to be taken out of the equation when it comes to euthanasia, because then we'll find there are few moral arguments against it. So the question I have is twofold. One, what are the other moral arguments against euthanasia? And two, do you think we should always consider taking religion out of every debate? Many Australian Christians think so, and so do others, in order, they say, to make a stronger point.
I would agree with the Punch that religion should be taken out of the public debate, discussion. However, truth must have the ultimate authority in any discussion. We must believe that which is true. We must submit to that which is true, because as Jesus said, truth will set you free. Religion, like all other myths, will enslave you. So the question is, if the question is, should religion be taken out of public square? I would say yes. If the question is, should truth be removed from public square, I would say no. Now, I believe the Bible because, and I believe in Jesus, because the Bible is true, because Jesus is true. I believe in God because He is true. Truth sets me free from man-made myths. And very often religion is man-made myth, but so is academic life man-made myth once the academia leaves God out and leaves truth out. There is no professor in any secular university anywhere in the world who believes that he knows the truth or that the human mind can know the truth. The heart of postmodernism is that, like Greek philosophy, Greek skepticism, it has come to realize that the human mind is not an instrument for knowing truth. If human mind, human brain that is, if human brain evolved as an accident of history, accident of evolution by chance, then it evolved as a tool for survival. It's a tool for survival. Brain is not an instrument for knowing truth. Western civilization believed that the human mind can know truth because St. Augustine, who used to teach philosophy before he became a Christian, as he dug into Greek philosophy, Greek thought, he realized that Greek philosophy knows that it does not know and it cannot know the truth. But when his mother was a Christian, and as he started reading the Bible, he realized that if the human mind is in fact made in God's image, the mind that created this universe, if the human mind is made in God's image, then the human mind is an instrument of knowing. But it is not an instrument of knowing everything, because I'm not created to govern the whole universe. I'm created to govern a slice of the universe. And that slice is what my mind is capable of understanding. So God creates a garden, says to Adam and Eve that I give it to you, you establish your dominion over it, you name the animals, you name the plants, the rocks, etc. So Adam goes out to study the garden. I'm supposed to go out to study the earth, because there is a realm and a sphere of reality which I can see, hear, understand, and my understanding, my mind has validity, human knowledge has validity, but a finite validity. So I agree that religion should not be part of the public square if religion is myth, if religion is stories. But truth should be the heart of the public square, and Christianity and the Word of God, the Bible, should be central elements in the public square. So the question of euthanasia is, who owns human life? John Locke, who is the source of the notion of inalienable rights, his argument was that the Creator owns life. Therefore, no one has a right to take away my life, not even I. The fundamental right to life is so fundamental that even I cannot choose suicide, because it's not really my life. It is given to me, and it is given to me for all eternity.